GSL Code A for this year.
In the bottom left, down a game. He has to win here or he is out.
YongHwa.
And to the top right in the red, CJ Entus player.
CJ Entus Trust.
His new fans call him True Street.
That's right. Or T-Rust.
Or T-Rust. Oftentimes True Saint as well. Now, I want to point out that this guy has actually pulled off 2 cheeses in the last 2 games in Game 1 and executed them both so well that even though his opponents had an idea that they were coming, they still couldn't stop it.
That's right.
And that's actually a scary thing to think about, especially going into, like, say, next season of Pro League with a bunch of best-of-1s. You got this guy who's just, like, knows his cheeses.
Well, look, in my opinion, Trust has the best coach in the business, Coach Park. This guy has transformed countless teams. He used to actually even be the SK coach, just to throw that out there. Just an amazingly brilliant man, really knows how to plan series and get his kids to practice right and all that. We saw, you know, previously in Pro League how he helped us turn around EGTL.
I always really liked Coach Park. He helped CJ come from a 6th place team in round 1 to being in the Final Four and was 1 game away actually from making it to the grand finals of Pro League. And I remember, I've always liked this coach, but there was a moment, and I'm sure everyone remembers this, when part of the booth fell on Gumiho's head. Yeah. And I heard a noise, and I wasn't sure what happened because I wasn't looking at Gumiho's camera, but the reason I knew something was wrong was because Coach Park leapt over the desk that the players and coaches sit on to run over to make sure Gumiho was okay, and that was the moment I was really inspired.
He really cares. You know, I've been in Korea now like over 6 years, I guess, and I met him very early in my stay here when he was with SKT1. Had moved over there from MBC Game way back, and was the most friendly person that I met out here by a great deal. Still is. Just, I don't know, I could tell stories upon stories of that guy and just what a great guy is. And I mean, you know, I think Trust is doing well for him, considering he's this relative unknown, getting through this, so far, doing a great job getting through this really ridiculously hard group.
By the way, Stargate is shown right in front of that probe here by YongHwa, and he did actually get a Zealot out with this.
Yeah.
I find that a bit strange, but Twilight Council is a response here. It's not going to cancel that Stargate.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to just show it, because I guess when you show it, they have to consider that you may cancel it. Quick, Wolf, Oracle or Phoenix?
That's actually exactly what was going through my mind. I think you Phoenix.
I think you Oracle because he threw up the Twilight. I'm cheating.
Okay.
He threw up the Twilight, so it's like, well, if you go
that,
Phoenix Blink, that doesn't make sense, right?
But
yeah,
the thing is, like,
I would go Phoenix, but
here's an idea though. If Phoenix
is going Phoenix. Holy crap!
If Phoenix is more likely to your opponent because you've scouted that he's like, oh, he can't Oracle because I scouted, so I'll blind counter him. So then he has to go Phoenix. Then you like go into Oracle because he's thinking that. That would be like super meta. But
anyways, if you're getting a Twilight with it, normally you go Oracle plus Blink because it's a good combo. But like 1 Phoenix, is this just for scouting?
What if it's Phoenix DT?
What in the hell am I watching?
No, because actually, let me explain.
Okay.
You go Phoenix, your opponent goes Twilight Tech, probably a fast Blink because it's pretty strong against that. Then he doesn't have detection.
It's true. And
he makes 1 Phoenix.
Against Phoenix, you wouldn't want a Robo necessarily. Let's see if he cancels that. If he doesn't, then YongHwa is playing with fire. He's not going to cancel it.
He's actually going to commit.
He is not going to cancel it. Wow.
The thing is, he's... Okay, so let's talk about numbers here. There's no sentries for Trust. He can't scout the Dark Shrine. He just actually can't.
Yeah, no, he has no way to know that this is coming.
This probe scout... Oh, I don't know if he saw that. If he sees that, that's pretty huge, but... Even if he does, I guess he can't afford to send a Stalker down there right now. He's got to protect his mineral line. That
closest pylon, by the way, is pretty far away.
He could actually, with 3 DTs...
Wait, is he making a pylon behind the Nexus?
Yeah, there's a pylon behind the Nexus. That's why he's hiding that probe. If he actually cancels this Blink and makes multi-DTs, he could actually target this Robo down.
Well, he's
not
getting
in time, not in time, yeah.
Where will the Observer be when the DT hits?
Where will you be?
Coming right out of the Robo? Yeah, he's saving it too. Like, somehow, some way, he's like, oh, that was weird, 1 Phoenix. And here's my Observer. Wow. good on Trust.
Why
man.
would no Phoenix's more come in here? I think that's what he's thinking. He's like, what's the deal with that?
Does he? Where does? Oh no! It turns around. Okay, he sees it. Yeah. It is a weird thing.
Yeah, he's just like, this doesn't make any sense. Why did you do this?
Whoa! Thought for sure he was going to lose that sentry.
Well, guys, YongHwa does have a second base and blink soon, and it's only one DT that he made.
Yeah, it's not the biggest investment, really.
But I mean, like, let's look at. Also, there's a Nexus for Trust. Also, he has robotics tech. Also, he has a lot more units, and he has
blink. Yeah, so more stalkers definitely matters. You know, a lot of gas has been spent by YongHwa.
YongHwa's about to be a supply block too. He's a real Phoenix scout.
All right, well, we do see that Nexus cannon go down.
YongHwa's blink's almost done, actually. I don't think he can expect this. Yeah. There's that blink.
Doesn't, I mean, he gets a stalker with it, but this is, wow, what a weird opening to this game. We actually have Trust in a supply lead here. He's got a few more probes. And
line of sight blocker helps out a lot.
Wow. I actually like interesting battles like this around a line of sight blocker, but he's got so many fewer stalkers. Wow, bad sentence. But yeah, of course, 8 against 5. He does warp in 3 more, still has his Nexus cannon, so YongHwa is fine for the time being.
By the way, I think it's totally fine to say so many fewer stalkers. I think that's actually correct.
There's no way that's correct.
I think that's actually correct.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It's actually more correct to say
this is how Tasteless makes me feel bad about myself.
It's actually more correct to say he has fewer stalkers than to say less stalkers.
That's true. But so many fewer?
I think that makes sense.
It makes sense, but is it proper?
I think it's proper.
You know what? Shakespeare made stuff up, so does Artosis. We're basically the same. We have forges coming up from both players. Of course, when you realize, the second you realize that you're not going to kill each other, you want that forge. The plus attack upgrades in PvP matter just ridiculous amounts.
Yes. Look at that resources lost tab. Warp Prism here for DTs, I suppose. Nice catch here. That's actually a lot of killed stalkers there. That's actually a pretty big game changer.
You know, this is... I'm still a little bit surprised about like the build that we saw from YongHwa. I've never seen exactly that.
I've seen that a few times.
Into DT into Blink.
You only play it like that when your Phoenix gets scouted. Because then you have enough time to make a DT shrine and then do this. I've seen this a few times.
Okay.
It's like not good, but it's desperate. And when your tech gets scouted like that,
sure, it makes sense. Because sometimes they scout my Scargate, and I'm like, oh, what do I do?
All right, so he's going to do a warp in of 1 DT. It's over at that pylon. He's going to pick it up.
What do you think about this cool build by how Trust is like, he's getting his Templar Archives, his charge, and his gateways so early on here. Like, this is really, really fast.
It shows confidence to me. He's like, no, I'm actually going to be fighting against pretty much everything. So.
Yeah.
And, I mean, look at that, how that engagement went for him. Obviously, he should be confident. There are 2 DTs. Where's the second one? One's on the Warp Prism. I do not know where the second one is.
No, I'm not so sure. Maybe the left-hand side.
Oh, that cannon finishes just in time. He's still going to lose a few probes here. 3 so far.
Still a great harassment. Third base going up for Trust because he did get those gateways much quicker than YongHwa did, so it's not like he's going to die.
That Nexus cannon there, he can't actually engage those Immortals, and oh no, this is starting to look really bad.
Oh man, yeah, you are right about that, Wolf.
There's nothing for him to fall back to, so Trust can actually keep chasing like this. There's nothing like where he's like, I got 2 Immortals on the high ground, bet you shouldn't chase me. It's actually totally fine to chase until he gets there. Where's that other DT? I'm like actually really curious about this. It's actually not being utilized.
I think it's like maybe in the top left, possibly.
Yeah, maybe he's just waiting.
I'm not sure where else it would be.
Yeah, I think he's waiting to use that on the third base when he suspects that it's saturated. He's just going to walk it over. Get back, gotta get out of here. So actually the Immortals are here this time.
It's a pretty quick third.
He's so confident. That's what I really like about this right now. Keeps 1 High Templar assumedly here to stop a Mothership Core from getting a Time Warp. Although with 3 more, though, it could just be for 2 Archons. Okay, sees this and adds 4 gates.
This is not going to work out for him, I don't think, because you know, this is actually a kind of common thing that you can see where the player who takes the third first with Immortal Archon Zealot against a more Archon Zealot gets attacked by the other one. But the gates were just so much quicker for Trust, and he had like a small lead before that. So looking at these supplies, for Army, he's got an 18 supply lead.
By the way,
it's gigantic.
I want to point out that Heaven points something out. It's like actually like something we never really talk about in StarCraft 2. Look at YongHwa's max supply. It's 164. He made like 7 extra pylons, and that's like 700 minerals spent on something that's not really useful during this point in the game. So that actually affects his economy and his production quite a bit.
Well, if he fills up right away, I guess it's not as bad, but he's not. You know, he's sitting at 111. He's got way less supply. Nice drop here come down from YongHwa.
Yeah, 4 DT drop will actually kill cannon so fast and then everything else.
This is cool, man. He's saying you better commit up here. And if he does, he might be able to snipe that third. He is going to snipe the main Nexus. Wow, some great play coming out of YongHwa.
He will get that Nexus, but let's see what happens over here. Oh, great Time Warp Forcible Recall. Doesn't get the Nexus, but he gets this one.
Oh, and YongHwa, just a little bit of sloppiness here, maybe losing more than he should. That Warp Prism definitely going to go down, losing all the DTs, losing all the Zealots in there. Could have gotten away with a bit more.
Well, now this counterattack by Trust is like ready to smash this third base into a million pieces. He's moving across with a 40 army supply lead approximately.
You know, I liked the move by YongHwa. I liked the thought behind it, but Trust has definitely outplayed him here.
I'm not sure if Trust can really commit into the Nexus cannon, though.
I think that he can.
Does he have a Time Warp
He's
as
got
well?
4 Immortals here against a mostly Stalker-based supply. I think that he could, yeah. I really do. Come up here with these High Templars as well.
Feedback, yeah.
Pretty
feedback
big deal.
Make
+2 even.
I think he's too timid. I think it's wise to not commit here.
Okay.
Because
I think
it's just why do that when you're already ahead in so many other ways? Yeah, you lost your third base for a little bit, but during that time your opponent didn't really have a third either, so that kind of equalizes things. And we got the mining. Yeah, YongHwa does have a much better mining for now. I would have liked to see him poke a little bit, maybe, but committing there, I'm totally agreeing to step back here.
On this point, I see what you're saying. I do disagree, though. I think I would have just insta-committed into it, just because in the main base, he lost a lot of Zealots and DTs, which would have made me think that with my faster third, faster gates, and him committing all that to kill a Nexus, that I should have a bit more supply. But he does choose, you know, to retreat for now, and you know, now YongHwa actually does have a supply lead.
Yeah. It's coming from that patience from that third base.
Yeah, it certainly is.
More cannons being made as well for Trust. He's a little bit more concerned about these Scorpions, these harasses.
He's actually getting ready to go into Colossus Tech here. He does have an additional Archon and an additional Immortal as well.
Do you think the Colossus Tech is correct here? I'm not so sure myself. Time Warp!
Yeah, but half the army out of position here for Trust. YongHwa moving forward, trying to punch through as much as he can. He does have his Warp Prism up here, which can help him out a lot with those close-up Warpins.
Yeah, it's all about the Immortals here, I feel. How much damage can they actually get done? Where's the next Warpin here? Both players are actually dropping down supply at similar rates, and those Archons are actually fighting the Immortals. Immortals are actually doing really well here for Trust. And with the Warpins of Stalkers here, or rather Warpins of Zealots, he's actually got those Immortals fighting against Stalkers and Immortals. Mostly Stalkers coming back. I think Trust may be able to hold this.
Yeah, he very well may. Mostly Stalkers coming up. A lot of Immortals left over here for for Trust. He just needs a few more Zealots warped in to really help clean it up.
It's going to end up even here, I think. It's actually going to end up even. This never happens in PvP, but we're watching it right now.
Yeah, this is pretty rare as far as situations go. All right, where are we at here? 20 supply to 21 supply for Army, 6 more probes for Trust right now, but that's pretty even.
Yeah.
That is pretty darn even. As soon as YongHwa sends a few probes from his main base, his third, everything's good.
Where's the Observer, though?
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
What a funny situation. What a gamble here by YongHwa.
Indeed it is, but he has his Observer. He sees it's okay, but not anymore. An Observer does come out.
What a sick game this has turned out to be here at the end.
Yeah,
now, Trust +3 just finished. To my knowledge, YongHwa does not have such a thing.
Yeah. No such thing does exist for YongHwa. Wolf.
Exactly, Artosis. Now, Trust just needs to get himself together for a moment here and decide how he wants to approach. I personally would do a lot of harassment here as Trust. maybe take even, dare I say it, a Pross, perhaps a fourth base to the top left and harass with Zealots, because this game has kind of reset itself. It's equalized in supply. Composition is going to be something these two have to debate over here. Via their minds and their battle here.
It looks like he's actually committing to this Colossus deck. He's starting to produce Colossus. What do you think about this? By making the Colossus, I think he says, no, I am not taking a fourth base. I think he has to sit
he has
very turtly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He has to turtle until he has those Colossi out, and once he has the Colossi out, then he can either poke himself or take that fourth base. Archon counts relatively similar. I think we're about to go up to 7 for YongHwa. That +3, the lack of +3 for YongHwa is a big concern for me. I think that's part of the reason why that fight went so evenly, despite the fact that... hold that thought, here we go.
He cannot be back where he just was, and in fact, he does pull back a bit, but ooh, this looks like it's a good engagement for YongHwa for me. Well,
it's the upgrades, though. I think that might be too much. He's actually able to push through, takes out 2 of those Archons.
He just pounded those Archons so quickly. Warping in some more Zealots now is YongHwa, but the second Colossus does come in and join up.
Time warp as well. This is going to be the end of YongHwa here. It will not be going to Codes. It's CJ's Trust that will be.
Wow, a really big upset if you ask me. This was the one guy I really didn't think would get through, and GG. Trust making it Codes for the first time. You can see the relief, the happiness in his face.
He played so well. He played so well.
He really did.
He really, really did. I'm actually, like, inspired by how well he played.
This has been a great night of Code. This morning was a jobber fest with a great final match. This whole entire one started out with kind of a poor match between Stork and Trust, but other than that, great matches, great games, and 2 great players going down to Code B. And, of course, 2 great players going up to Code S as well.
Artos, I want to say something.
Yes.
I feel like today an era has ended. The era of old players that were doing well past last year, the year before, and even the old season of GSL, they're all gone. We've lost YongHwa, we've lost Life, we've lost
Symbol.
They're all gone, man. We're in a new era now, and it begins with this Codes, I feel.
I see what you're saying. The reign of Kespa is complete.
Yeah. No, it is.
Supernova's gone.
Supernova's gone. Every player that was like not on a Kespa team is out and gone.
Is every single player?
I think so. We'll have to check.
Yeah, we'll check that.
I know, for example, like Trap is obviously not on a Kespa team currently, but he wasn't on IM, and before he was on IM, he was on a Kespa team. So
yeah, his teams
he's technically a Kespa player in my eyes.
He is a Kespa player that joined other teams temporarily.
Yeah. So we're going to take a look at our Codes players here, I believe. And
yeah, we should be looking at that. I'm sure we're going to summarize the group first.
Yeah.
But, wow. What a crazy season of Code. Hope you guys have enjoyed watching it. Taking a look here, Stork, of course, took out everyone in first place, beating Trust and YongHwa. Some fantastic play. He's one of the big stories of this season, Stork is. And then, of course, Trust, taking out YongHwa and Fantasy after losing to Stork with really great play.
Both of these guys played so well. And I gotta say, Fantasy definitely gave an interesting showing. Both Fantasy and YongHwa, I really enjoyed their games today. Especially their series in match number 2 was my favorite series itself of the night.
It was a great one. It really was. I really liked everything tonight except for that first match. Like, the 4 last matches were all fantastic.
All right, so let's see if we can find any of...
Innovation is on Acer, but he was a Kespa player.
Kespa player. I'm looking. No, man.
Avenge was not a Kespa player.
But he is now,
He is now.
And so is Hurricane. But otherwise, man.
Yeah, Hurricane and...
the era... Okay, no, DRG. DRG is the only one.
Oh!
DRG is the only one.
The true Dong
stands alone. I feel like you cannot call DRG a real Kespa player, like in the sense of like the rest of these others.
I think him, Avenge, and Hurricane all came super late to the party for Kespa. These guys were all originals. You know, Avenge, Tier, and DRG, of course, all originals in StarCraft II.
Yeah.
The last 3 remaining guys, it looks like, that are not like the guys that switch over from StarCraft 1 to StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff. Okay, guys, this has been great. Thank you so much for watching Code A with us. We'll be back with Code S, not next week, but the week after that. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you then.